بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله، we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that extended our life to this time and to this moment to enable us to attend this noble gathering with the topic making my fasting count and the do's and don'ts of Ramadan. Making my fasting count is a lesson of itself. Do's is a lesson of itself, and those of don'ts of Ramadan also is a lesson of itself. But I will try as much as I can to see how I will summarize the three topics in one, inshallah, so that will serve as a reminder for all of us, and at the same time an encouragement. It's just having like from now to Ramadan 1 month, am I right? From now to Ramadan. So meaning that Ramadan is very close. So it's true that we should start reminding ourselves and one another about its virtues, about its ethics, about its ruling, and other related issues. And sincerely, Ramadan is a blessing. It's a blessing not only for the Muslims, but for the entirely humanity, and also a world as well. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed us to fast from the beginning and to the end of the month for the benefit of ourselves. For the benefit of ourselves. Not to torture us and not to make things difficult and hard. So, first of all, what will make your Ramadan to count is for you to know more about the month. Because when you know the importance of the month and the fast, then that will make you to strive and to work hard to see that you achieve what other people are achieving in the month. That will make you to strive to attain piety and to draw yourself very close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because you don't know whether the next Ramadan Allah will extend your life to that time, because there is no guarantee. That's why our predecessors are praying always 6 months to Ramadan. They are praying, they are invoking, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant their long life to that time. Because they know that some people, a couple of days, few hours, minutes to Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take their lives. and it's not ultimately. It is what Allah designed. So there is no guarantee. So with that, Ramadan is approaching. Why brother? We should keep praying. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to extend our life to that time and to give us health and opportunity to do the right thing in that noble month. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a hadith recorded by Imam Al-Tirmidhi and Ibn Majah, Imam Al-Tirmidhi hadith number 682, and Ibn Majah recorded the hadith number 1642, Ibn Khuzaimah in volume 3, page 188, from the chain of narrator from the mouth of Abi Bakr bin Iyash and al-Amash from the authority of Abi Hurairah. So this hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that when it is إذا كان أول ليلة من شهر رمضان, when it is first day of Ramadan, I wanted to ask you, when is the first day of Ramadan? Is it the day that we start the fast, or the night that the Christian was seeing or vision? Which one is the first day of Ramadan? Is it the day or the night? The night, yes. All right, the night. So when you have the information of Christians seeing, then that is Ramadan. Study of Tarawih, study of Quran recitation, start all good things that you are intending to do Ramadan, because that night is Ramadan. So first night of Ramadan, tomorrow will be first day of Ramadan. Because we are counting night and day. Night and day. That is what we are counting in Islam. Night and day. So the Prophet ﷺ says, when it is first night of Ramadan, Sufidat al-Shayateen, wa Maradat al-Jinn, the Shayateen and the stubborn among the jinn will be chained and shackled. وَغُلِّقَتْ أَبْوَابُ النَّارِ, and the entrance or the entrances of the hellfire will be closed. فَلَمْ يُفْتَحْ مِنْهَا بَابٌ, and no one entrance will be open. The word gullika in Arabic, no, we can use ghulika. We can use ghulikat abwabuna. But when shadda was used on that lam, ghulikat, meaning that closing those entrances, they will be closed extremely. You get me right? The entrances of the hellfire will be closed extremely. That is gullikat. If you can remember, Allah said, وَغَلَّقَتِ الْأَبْوَابِ in Surah Yusuf. وَغَلَّقَتِ الْأَبْوَابِ. She closed the doors or the entrances very severely, very extremely. That is the woman that intended to have unhealthy relationship with Yusuf alayhi salam at the time. So meaning that gullikat, you know how those entrances of hellfire will be closed. And the Prophet ﷺ said, فَلَمْ يُفْتَحْ مِنْهَا بَابًا, and no one or none among the entrances will be open from the one in the last day of Ramadan. It will remain closed. Then وَفُتِّحَتْ أَبْوَابُ الْجَنَّةِ, the entrances of Jannah, that is paradise, will be open. فَلَمْ يُغْلَقْ مِنْهَا بَابٌ, and none among the entrances will be closed. It will be always open. So the rahmah, the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be gushing out from those entrances. That's why you find in Ramadan, the atmosphere is very, very friendly, and at the same time, very, very beneficial and very, very nice. So, because all the entrances of Jannah were open and none was closed. وَيُنَادِي مُنَادٍ, and an announcer will call, Ya baghi al-khayr, oh who want to act upon righteousness, Akbil, come, do the righteousness deeds, because this is a time of righteousness. Ya baghi al-shar, and the other, and the announcer will announce again, will call, Ya baghi al-shar, oh who want to act upon evil, Aksid, stop, this is not time of evil doing. So this announcer is communicating with our hearts, not our ears. It's communicating with our hearts, not our ears. Nobody will hear this call, but our hearts will hear that call and they will answer. That's why you find many people are trooping into the mosque, tafsir places. Many righteousness deeds are taking place in Ramadan because the hearts answered to that call and they are get connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that communicator, that announcer is communicating with our hearts, not our ears. So that's why you see good deeds in every nook and cranny of the Muslim community in the global wide. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from our good deeds. And walillahi utaqad, and Allah have those that He ransom from hellfire. وَذَلِكَ كُلُّ لَيْلَةٍ, each day, every day. When the day is over, then Allah will ransom some people from hellfire to paradise. Their names will be deleted from Sijjin and be written in Iliyin. You know, Kitab al-Fujjar, Sijjin. The book of the evil people is Sijjin. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remove all people's names from that Sijjin and be put in or written in that Al-Iliyin, Kitab al-Abrar. And this activity will be taking place every night. Every night this ransom or ransoming will be taking place. So me and you, we don't know what Allah will do to us. And we don't know our future. But if this is taking place, meaning that it is an opportunity for every person to strive to see that he's among those people that Allah ransom from that black list of hell fire dwellers to the white list of paradise residents. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among the paradise residents. And at the same time, after knowing these virtues, then if you want your fast to become, you have to have a good intention. A good intention, that is niyyah. Innamal a'malu binniyat. All deeds are going according to intentions or are accepted according to intentions. So the Prophet ﷺ said, وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَا نَوَى, and every person having what he has intended. So we should try to have a good intention. The reason of the intention is, when it is Ramadan, people divide it into two. Some are happy and some are sad. Some are happy about the advent of the Ramadan and some are sad because they will stop eating 3 square meals or eating at the day. That only one time off of eating and drinking will make some people very, very sad because they value eating more than anything. And it does not supposed to happen this way as far as Islam is concerned and you as a Muslim. Because Allah created us by having two diets, one physical and the other one spiritual. The physical diet is the grains and other foods, whether it is protein, whether it is what would I call it, uh, what is this? The grains. What grouping of food and they belongs to the grains? Huh? Carbohydrates. You get that? Are those various type of food? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made those foods for us so that our body will be healthy. Our body will be healthy because our body is created from the soil. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought out our food from the soil to match our creation. And you see that when you see the color of our skin, you see that there is a soil that is the same or similar to that color of your skin, and because you are created from it. So after the first creating a man and a woman from water, that is from semen, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala transformed that semen to what? To be from, after creating from the soil, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala transformed that soil to be from the semen, from the both side, this one from the semen and the other one from the ovum, when they come to a union. So this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala design. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala designed. So this our food that is physical is from where we are created, that is soil, and the other food is spiritual, that is the revelation, the Quran and the Hadith. Because it's the food of the heart. It's the food of the heart. We are in two segments. One, inner part of us, and the other one, outer part of us. So the outer part of us, the apparent part of us, that is what is making it healthy, 3 square meals, and other food that you are taking. And the inner part, what is making it healthy, it is the revelation, the Quran and the Sunnah. So when you are reading Quran, understanding its meaning and doing its do's and don'ts, and then you understand the Sunnah, the prophetic teaching, and you are complying with the instruction of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then that inner part of you will be healthy. Then the components of you will be genuine, and you will prosper in the life of this dunya and in the hereafter. So, but people are concerned more and much about that force that is outer and apparent part of them. That is how their skin will look and what type of cloth they will wear, what is its cheapness or expensiveness, and from which country is from, this and that. So people are very concerned about that, neglecting and abandoning that other part that is more important. Because the Sahaba, when you look at their lives, they don't have this type of cloth that we're having. They don't eat much. They don't have beautiful houses. They don't have cars. They don't have all these worldly things that we have. But they have what? They have faith in Allah and they are very sincere. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them victorious and make their enemies vanquished. Are you getting what I'm telling you? Yes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them victory upon their enemies, and their enemies were vanquished. So meaning that if you want to prosper, then that part of you, that inner part of you should be built. should be very, very strong. The connection should be very, very intact and genuine. When you are like that, then inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will come to your assistance. So that niyyah, that intention is from the heart, not from the tongue. It's from the heart. It's only during Hajj you say labbaik Allahumma hajjatan aw labbaik Allahumma umrah. Only during Hajj you will pronounce it with your tongue. But other niyyat is from what? From heart, not from tongue. So that intention very, very important. When it is confirmed that the Christian was vision or seen, then you must have that intention. And that intention, whether you are the one that have seen the Christian or you have the information from other people, you must have that intention before dawn. Before dawn. Before dawn, you must have that intention before dawn. And that intention is for you to intend to fast the month of Ramadan from the beginning to the end, imanan wa ihtisaban, faithfully and with seeking Allah's reward. That is how your intention goes. Faithfully, imanan wa ihtisaban, with seeking Allah's reward. You know, in the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says that man sama Ramadan, who fasts the Ramadan, imanan, faithfully, wa ihtisaban, with seeking Allah's reward, غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. Allah will forgive his sins and trespasses. Allah will forgive his sins and trespasses. So, meaning that intention, that sound of Ramadan, and that intention will be faithfully and with seeking Allah's reward. Faithfully, that you are doing it because it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instruction. We're seeking Allah's reward. You want Allah to grant you paradise and to prevent you from hellfire because of that fasting that you are doing. Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, when you fast one day, only one day, when you fast one day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put a trench between you and the hellfire. The vastness of that trench is just like the vastness of the east and the west, or south and north. You get it right? And in another hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will distance you and distance your face from the hellfire the journey of 70, for this journey of 70 years. Saba'ina kharifan. That is the journey of 70 years. Allah will distance your face from hellfire. So alhamdulillah, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this bounty and for the Prophet for this explanation. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our niyyah genuine. So that niyyah must be before dawn. So you shouldn't sleep early so that you have the information. When you have the information, then you will make that niyyah at that time. Then during dawn, you eat your sahur, you come and discuss about the sahur because it's part of what will make your fast to be count. Then you have that intention. Unless if you don't have the information and you wake up in the morning, maybe 9, 10, then you have that today, or you are informed that it is Ramadan. Then from that time, then you stop from eating if you eat. You stop from drinking if you drink before time, or any sexual contact if you have done it or you don't. Then you continue your fasting to the sunset, because that is a principle of fiqhiyya, is Islamic jurisprudence, saying that al-udra manat al-taklif is when you're having the opportunity of doing something is become compulsory or obligatory upon you. Because you don't know that today is Ramadan, unless that time, then from that time that you know that it is Ramadan, that is when your Ramadan starts, then you stop eating, stop drinking, stop any sexual intercourse, stop any foul talk or any evil doing, then you continue your fasting. Then after Ramadan, you don't have to pay back that day. You don't have to pay back that day because Fattakullah Masatad, that is all what you can to start the fasting from that time because you don't have the knowledge of that recent vision or seeing before that time is not deliberately. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have forgiven this ummah al-khata mistake, what nisyan and forgetfulness, what tukrihu alayh and what they are forced to do. Allah have forgiven for this ummah. So this is in which category are we going to categorize this? Al-khata, no, al-nisyan, forgetfulness. Forgetful, forgetfulness or al-khata, no, forgetfulness, yes. It can fall into forgetfulness, because, or it can fall into al-khata, mistake. So it is forgiven by the statement of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. So if it happens that way, then you continue your fasting to sunset, but you are not going to repeat that day. It's just like for you to eat and drink mistakenly. You eat and drink mistakenly without, it's after when you drink it, it comes to your memory that today is Ramadan. The Prophet ﷺ, that drinking is from Allah and that eating is from Allah. Then you continue your fasting, no refundment. But let me take a little bit comment. This is what the Prophet ﷺ says. It's not that he's trying to tell us that we should be careless about our fasting, but he's telling us that in the deen of Islam, in the religion of Islam, there is easiness. So Allah does not, وَمَا جَعَلَ عَلَيْكُمْ فِي الدِّينِ مِنْ حَرَجٍ, Allah does not make anything difficult for you in this religion. So when you are in that, because it used to happen, especially first days of Ramadan, you find that people used to forget often. People used to forget often in terms of whether they are fasting or not. Some will drink, some will eat. So if it happens that way, then that one will not affect the fasting because it's not deliberately. You continue your fasting and not paying or refundment of that day because of the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that it is Allah have given you that food, Allah given you that drink, but that is not encouraging you to be careless, because Islam teaches, Islam teaches us what? Carefulness. Carefulness, not carelessness. Carefulness. So for this, if it happens that you don't know about the information of that recent sin, then anytime you have the information, you continue your fasting. So that niyyah, that intention, my sisters, very, very essential. You can't continue fasting without that intention, or fasting Ramadan faithfully with seeking Allah's reward 29 days or 30. 29 days or 30. You know, in Islam, month used to be 29 and sometimes 30. So that is how your intention will go. Unless if your menstrual cycle interrupted those 29 days or 30, then you stop the fasting. After you are pure, then you continue, and you have to make another intention of the remaining days. Are you getting what I'm trying to explain? For example, you fasted like 20 days, then your menstrual cycle interrupted, then you stop. Then when you are about to continue your fasting after you are clean, then you have to make another intention of the remaining days, because that your menstrual cycle stopped and what invalidated the first niyyah, the first intention. So this is very, very important. We should stick to this and explain it to our daughters and other women that they are not here about the niyyah of Ramadan. And then, what will make our fast to be count is that eating sahur. Eating sahur. Maybe some people will see it very slight. And some are even proud in that I'm not eating so, and I used to do my fast without any difficulty. My sister, is not a matter of you can do it without sahur. It's a matter of compliance with the instruction of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam. Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam says that Allah has put blessing in three things. He mentioned among the three things Al-Jama'ah, the congregation of Muslims, and As-Sahur, and the Sahur al-Tharib, that is a food that is called Sarib. So Tharib is a food specific for Arabs. It's just like that masa that people are eating. It resembles it, but that tariq is not our food here, but they are familiar with it in the Arabian countries. So Allah, the Prophet mentioned Jama'ah, the congregation of Muslims, like this, your number, that is the barakah in it. Then as-tariq, that food, Allah put barakah in it. Then as-sahur, then eating food of that sahur. So the word sahur was driven from the word sahar. Sahar means immediate time before dawn. That is sahar. Could you remember Allah says that Jainahum bisahar? Allah rescued the Prophet Lut at the time of sahar. At the time of sahar, Allah says, As-sadirina wal-qanitina wal-sadiqina wal-munfiqina wal-qanitina wal-munfiqina. Allah says, wal-mustaghfirina bil-ashar. Those that they are seeking Allah's forgiveness during the sahar time. Ashar is plural of sahar. Ashar is a plural of sahar. Sahar is singular, ashar plural of sahar. So that sahar, that is immediate time before dawn. That is sahar. So the food that you eat at that time is called sahur. Sahur, given from the word sahar. So meaning that if you eat your food, before that time, you do not eat sahur. You eat an ordinary food, and there is no reward. If not constipation, if your care is not taken. Yeah, when you eat and sleep, then you have problem if care is not taken. So that sahur must be delayed to that time of sahar. Because from that sahar, what you are going to do is preparation of further prayer, dawn prayer. Not to sleep again for a while, then wake up, then dawn prayer. No. Immediately after the sahur, what remains for you is preparation of the Fajr dawn prayer. That is what remains for you. Because after eating the sahur, you will find that the time that remains will not give you a chance to even sleep. It's time that you are preparing for the sweet prayer. That is how sahur is supposed to be. But some people are eating it at 2 or 3 a.m., some 4, before the sahur time. So all that food that they are eating, they are just eating ordinary food, not sahur. Because sahur is a religion food. It's not a traditional food, and it's not a food that a person will eat the way or the time that he likes. Because the time was fixed by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you have and must abide by the time. So those heedless is about what the Allah says and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam will not have that blessing that the Prophet sallallahu mentioned here. So the sunnah is how is to be delayed. The sunnah is how is to be delayed to that sahar time. My sisters in Islam, are you following what I'm trying to explain?
Yes.
I wanted you to pass this message to other people that are not here. Because we are making this mistake often, eating sahur before that sahur time. You know, we cannot pray Zuhr unless it's 9. We cannot pray Asr unless it's 9. Likewise, Maghrib and Isha. We cannot go to Hajj, no, unless when it is time for Hajj. So that is how sahur is. You cannot eat sahur unless if it is time. Even if you prepare the meal, then preserve it. Keep it. When it is time, then you eat. When you finish, then you prepare for Subi prayer. That is the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So may Allah assist us. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam even says that angels, فإن Allah وملائكته and His angels يصلون على المتصدقين are praying for those people that are eating sahur. So eating sahur will make your fast to count and make it very genuine and very prophetic. And at the same time, look, at the same time, if you can't eat food at that time, so the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam have said that if you can't eat, then you can sip a water. 2-3 sippings will suffice. A water, ordinary water, will suffice as what? As a sahur. Or eating a dead fruit. Just to put something in your mouth, even if because there are some people that they can't eat that time in totality. Okay, you can sip 2 sippings of what water will suffice as a sahur. It's better than none, and you are prophetic at that time. But to abandon sahur, so you are imitating Jewish and Christians. They are the one that they are not taking sahur during their fast. And the Prophet said, "Khalaful Yahud and Nasara." You should contradict the Yahud and Nasara because they are not eating sahur. You should eat it. So that sahur is very, very prophetic. We should try as much as can to be eating it at the exact time, prompt time, and teaching our children, male and female, encouraging our husbands and other relatives to do the same we do, because that is what the Prophet says. Then, what will make our fast to become again is what? Hastening the breaking of our fast. Hastening the breaking of our fast. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that when the cycle of the sun hides, when the cycle of the sun hides, so you shouldn't consider the reddish and the reddish appearance or reflection, because when it is sunset, you find that there is a reddish color at what where the sun have already set. So that reddish color shouldn't consider as anything. So that is the time that you will break your fast. Breaking your fast has nothing to do with Maghrib prayer. And the Prophet ﷺ even used to eat and drink before Maghrib prayer. So when it is sunset, then the fast is over. It's what is over. The fasting time is over. Whether you eat or not, you are not more a faster. You are not more observing your fast at that time. So immediately after that sunset, then you eat, you drink. Even if you are working in the kitchen, you do not run up. Okay, try to see that you keep your dead fruit very close, so that when it's time you take it and drink them, we will run up and then go and pray Maghrib. Because some women are not abiding by this, you will find that because of working that they are doing or supervising the work or other things in the kitchen, you find that unless or after men have already finished their prayers in the mosque, that is when they will break their fast. This is very, very unprophetic and at the same time un-Quranic, because the Quran says that ثُمَّ أَتِمُّ الصِّيَامَ إِلَى اللَّيْلِ, you will complete your fast to the night. Night is what the Prophet defined, that when the day go and the night comes, then that is the time that you're supposed to eat that your meal for breaking of your fast. So for this, we should try as much as we can to be hastening and hurrying our breaking fast, so that we will be very, very prophetic. But some will contradict this. They will hasten the sahur, and they will delay the what? The breaking of their fasting. That is iftar. This is something, a clear contradiction of the teaching of Islam. Do you know what will happen if people are contradicting the teaching of Islam? Allah will remove blessing from their lives. And you shouldn't say, yes, something slight, small. No, there is no small contradiction if we are looking at the one that we are contradicting. That is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His word and His Prophet. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So in Islam, Allah said, do. So this is a commandment, it's not alternative. If Allah said, don't do or stop doing this and that, you must stop. It's not alternatively that you must stop. So this is what the Prophet says, and that is what Allah revealed. So we should try, if we want our fast to be count, to be delaying our sahur, and hastily our breaking fast. I hope you are following me. Then at the same time, we should try to know that at Tarawih, if we want our fast to be counted. You know, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, Man sama Ramadan, who fasts Ramadan, imanan faithfully, wahtisaban, seeking Allah's reward, Allah will forgive his previous sins and trespasses. And the Prophet ﷺ mentioned again, Man qama Ramadan, who pray Tarawih, that is qama Ramadan, imanan faithfully, wahtisaban, seeking Allah's reward, Allah will forgive his previous sins and trespasses. So meaning that that Tarawih is an act of ibadah, act of righteousness of Islam in Ramadan. So some people, Allah will not accept their day, but He will accept their night. That is their Tarawih. Because in the day, they are careless of stopping from those things that are forbidden and doing those things that Allah says that is inappropriate for them when they are fasting to do. They are not careful of that. But in the Tarawih, they used to come and join other Muslims to praise Tarawih from the first day of Ramadan to the last day of Ramadan. So some people, it's because of that their Tarawih, their Ramadan will be accepted and they will be forgiven from their sins and trespasses. So meaning that Tarawih, we should be very, very concerned about it, so that when we start doing it from the day one, then we shouldn't stop unless when the Ramadan is over, because it's part of what will make that your Ramadan to be count. That Tarawih very, 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 very important. And if you want that your Tarawih to be very easy, you shouldn't eat much. Because some people, during the breaking their fast, they used to eat much, they used to drink much. So when you are eating much and drinking much, your body will be heavier, isn't it? Then you find it very difficult to stand for those 11 rak'ahs that were performed in terms of Tarawih. So meaning that you have to eat moderate or little. Even if you want to add another thing, leave it after Tarawih so that you not miss that Tarawih, so that you not be having difficulty in terms of performing that your Tarawih, because that your Tarawih is very valuable and very, very essential and relevant in the month of Ramadan. So we should try as much as we can to be doing Tarawih. And that Tarawih, you can pray 11 rakats. 11 rakats. Then it can be prayed 9, 7, 5, 3, 1. 11, 9, 7, 5, 3, or 1. Or 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. So you can pray it like that. So when you are energetic and vibrant, then you pray 11. When you are sick and weak, then you can reduce it to 9, reduce it to 7, reduce it to what? To 5, 3, and you can do the waiting 1. Then, as your prayer, night prayer during Ramadan, according to what the situation you find yourself. That is what Albani stated in Qiyam Ramadan, and that is what he stated in Salat Tarawih, and there is authentic hadith of the Prophet in Imam Al-Muwatta, Imam Malik, Sayyid Bukhari or Muslim that explain all this. So that Tarawih making our fast to be count. And at the same time, what will make our fast to be count is our Quranic recitation. Our Quranic recitation. You know, the Ramadan is a month of Quran. Month of Quran. Shahr Ramadan, alladhi unzila fihi al-Quran. The month of Ramadan is the month that Allah SWT revealed the glorious Quran. Hudan linnas is a guardian to mankind. وَبَيِّنَاتٍ and plain explanation our bayinat al-huda of guidance. فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهَرَ any person that is alive from the advent of the month or start of the month, or فَمَنْ شَهِدَ anybody that have seen the crescent. The word shahida indicates reaching that month or seeing the what? The crescent. So Allah said, فَلْيَصُمْهُ he must. That فَلْيَصُمْهُ is a commandment. He must fast it, the month of Ramadan. But do you know that we are fasting Ramadan because of the revelation of the glorious of the Holy Quran? We are fasting Ramadan to thank Allah for the Quranic revelation. Because Quranic revelation is what is a pity and is a blessing to all humanity, not only Muslims, to all humanity entirely and specifically for the Muslims. So we are fasting the month of Ramadan to say, oh Allah, thank you for the revelation of the glorious Quran. To see how this Quran is very great. To see how this Quran is very essential and relevant in the life of the Muslim. This Quran that some Muslims make is learning alternatively. Alternatively, they are not learning, but Alhamdulillah, I know that there is many Muslims that are learning from the glorious Quran, but we find that the number of those that they are not learning from the Quran is more than the number of those that they are learning Quran, because they don't take Quran as something very compulsory or very relevant. They think that because you can have a status of being a councillor or chairman or House of Representative in the state or a senator or something of that nature, they are saying that they are taking Quran for granted. Wallahi, let me tell you something. You see this Quran, Allah says, Yahdi lillati hiya aqwam. He is guiding to what is appropriate. If you want things that are good in your life, so then you should hold on to Quran. Once upon a time, a governor in Makkah went to Tan'im. Tan'im is a border of Makkah when you come from Medina. There is a masjid that is called Masjid-Al. The Masjid of Aisha is at that Tan'im. So the governor of Makkah went to that Tan'im to discuss or to meet Umar bin Khattab, the Khalifa of the Muslim at that time. So when the governor came, Umar asked him, who did you delegate on the people of Makkah? He said, I delegated Ibn Abza. Then Umar said, who is that Ibn Abza? He said that he's a liberated slave. He said that you delegated on the people of Makkah a liberated slave. Then the Umar insisted, asking that governor the reason of doing that. Then he says that that man, alimun bil Quran, he have the knowledge of Quran, and alimun bil fara'id, and he knows the knowledge of inheritance. So that is the reason why I delegate him on the people of Makkah. Then the Umar says, Inna Allah yarfa'u bihadha al-Quran. You are right. Allah is raising the status of people with this Quran, and وَيَدَعُ بِهَا آخَرِينَ, and declining or breaking down the status of other people because of the rejection of the glorious Quran. So because of he has the knowledge of Quran and the inheritance, then he deserves to be a governor delegate. to be the governor delegate on the people of Makkah. And you know something? He's a black man. And you know something? And he's physically challenged, he's deformed. He's having what will I call it? Uh, what would I call it? Partial stroke. You get me right? He's having partial stroke. So meaning that he's somehow, but regardless of the color of his skin and the sickness that he's going through and being a liberated slave, but he deserves to be a governor delegate because he knows Quran and the knowledge of inheritance. So, so this Quran, my sisters, one day Anas ibn Malik was sent to who? To Umar bin Khattab by Abdullah ibn Qais. Do you know who Abdullah ibn Qais is? Who can tell me who is Abdullah ibn Qais? Abdullah ibn Qais. Could you remember the Sahabi that his name is Abdullah ibn Qais? That is Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, his real name is Abdullah ibn Qais. So Abdullah ibn Qais sent Anas ibn Malik to Umar bin Khattab. Then Umar asks, how do you leave Abu Musa? Then Anas said, I left him teaching people Quran. Then Umar responded that innahu kayyus, he's intelligent and brilliant. But you shouldn't tell him. You shouldn't tell him. Do you know why he said you shouldn't tell him? So that he will not be loose and laxist. Because sometimes if you are praised, then you feel that you have do enough. Then you start what? If care is not taken, being laxist and at the same time that's very loose. So he said, you shouldn't tell him. But the statement is that innahu kayyusun, he's intelligent. So it's intelligence for you to learn and to teach other people Quran. Khayrukum, the best of you, man allama al-Quran is a person that learns Quran wa allamahu and teaches it to others. Not a president, not a governor, not a senator, not a chairman of local government, not its cabinet and its councillors, but the person that learns Quran and teaches it to others. So meaning that this Quran we shouldn't take it for granted. Even if you don't know A, you don't know A. A, is it not the first alphabet of learning English and other related subjects? Wallahi, my sister, even if you don't know A in your life, and you read Quran and the Hadith, you will prosper. It's only people that say that you don't know how to operate internet, you don't know how to speak Queen English, this and that. This is in this world of this dunya. But in this dunya, because of that Quran, wallahi, you will prosper. Because Allah will come to your assistance. You are with Allah's preservation. And you are with Allah's help. And what comes from Allah is with you. Then Allah will protect you because of the protection of the glorious Quran. So we should try as much as we can to see that we are reciting not only during Ramadan, anytime we should try to see that we are learning from the glorious Quran. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for all of us. So during Ramadan, it's a month of what? Month of Quran. So when you complete, then you start. When you complete, then you start. 1, 2, 3, 5 times, 10 times. You completed the Quran, alhamdulillah, Ramadan is okay. During that time, the Sahaba, you find that in their mosques, they will be reciting Quran throughout the day, they are reciting Quran. When you come close to their mouth, you heard about their voice look just like a beast. Then if they are going from one place to another, the noise, how they are making noise, that is how their mouth is full of Quranic recitation. So we should try to see that we're reciting more about the glorious Quran during the month of Ramadan. Then after that Quran, my sisters, in Islam, we should try to know that any act of righteousness in Ramadan, make that your Ramadan to be count, and at the same time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wallahu yuhibbul muslimin. Allah loves those people that are doing righteousness. Then at the same time, apart from that, we should try to be giving food if we have for the people that are needy, the people that are poor. We should try to see that we are giving food to those people. Because when you give a food for somebody that is needy, it's just like you fast and you fast another one. If you feed only one, if you feed two, you are having your own reward and the reward of those two people. If you feed three, you are having your reward and the reward of those three people. It's not that their reward will not be given to them. No, Allah will give them their reward, but He will give you similar or the same of that reward that I give them because you have given them that food at that time. So we should try as much as we can to see that we are doing that. And at the same time, we should try to know that in Islam, it is something that the Prophet ﷺ permits among the doors of Ramadan that a person that is fasting can reach dawn instead of janaba, instead of impure. Not to have janaba after Fajr, but to reach that time. Maybe you wake up without having enough time of sahur and bathing, then you will eat your sahur, then later, even after dawn, then you will take the bath and pray your subhi and continue your fasting. Look, there is a difference between having a janaba after dawn or reaching dawn with janaba. When you reach dawn with janaba, there is no problem with that because the Prophet ﷺ, Umm Salma, the wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Umm Salma and Aisha, says that the Prophet used to reach Fajr وهو جنوب while he's in the state of being impure of that janaba, and then ثم يغتسل, then later after dawn, then يغتسل used to bath ويصوم and continue his fasting. So meaning that reaching that time, no problem, but after that time, for a person to have a janaba, means that the whole day is invalid, you have to do the kafara, the expiation. So this is a little bit easiness. When you wake up late, then you don't have enough time for bathing, enough time for what? For eating, then you start the eating of sahur, then bathing later. And at the same time, siwak, you can perform your siwak. That your siwak, using chewing stick to clean your mouth. You know, mouth hygiene is very, very important in Islam. Even in Western, in modern medicine, we know how mouth hygiene is very important because many diseases are starting from mouth, what we are consuming. So in Islam, the Prophet ﷺ, even at journey, he don't used to leave his chewing stick, his mirror, his comb. The Prophet ﷺ was very, very smart and decent. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So for this, that's using chewing stick, very, very important during Ramadan to remove that odor. Even though that odor that is coming out from a person that is observing his fasting is not from a filth or a dirty mouth, it's from an empty stomach. It's from an empty stomach. So that odor is from an empty stomach. But there is no problem with you to use that chewing stick to remove or to clean that mouth. But the Prophet says that that scent or that odor that is coming out is more nice and beloved in Allah's sight than the scent of misk. That misk. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves that odor more than a misk, a scent, a perfume of misk. Meaning that it's not a problem, but you can remove it, you can clean it by using a chewing stick. Okay, if you don't use chewing stick, can we use toothpaste and toothbrush? Can we use it? You keep quiet. Can we use it? The answer is yes. It will suffice. Even though it's more preferable for you to use chewing stick, but if you use toothpaste and toothbrush to clean your mouth while you're having that odor in your mouth, it will suffice. But it's not the same. That chewing stick is more rewardable compared to that toothbrush and toothpaste. So this one, first, if you don't have or you don't use this one, then you can use your toothpaste and toothbrush to clean your mouth. That taste of the toothpaste then will not have any impacts or will not invalidate that your fast because it's not a food. What is invalidating somebody's or nullifying somebody's fasting is eating, drinking, sexual intercourse. Okay, when we say eating, drinking, did that toothpaste a drink or a food? The answer is no. So likewise, you somebody can have a perfume, can use an eyelid, all those things, and can use what do I call it? Eye drop. If he's having a problem with his eyes, he can use eye drop as a medicine, and at the same time, even if you feel the taste of that eye drop in your throat, that does not mean anything to your fast. And somebody can go through hemolysis, that is a blood examining. You get me right? Or having an injection, but that does not serve as a food. Meaning that if you are dripped, then your fast is over. But you start your injection, because in Africa often are taking injections. Isn't it? Yes. Because in other countries, this is an old fashioned and of medicine, but still we are taking injection here. If it happens that you take injection, maybe you start 3, remain 2, the dose, then you can complete what? You can complete the dose even if you are fasting. Because that injection is not a food, is not a drink, and is not among the nullifiers of fast. So, my sister, we cannot talk and discuss everything today. It's just a start, isn't it? So, inshallah, I think what we are going to do, I don't know, maybe in the future, we should come and continue discussing other related issues because we do not talk about the calf, itikaf, we don't talk about the permissibilities, what it is permitted while you are fasting to do. So, inshallah, because of our time, I was told that we are doing it 10 towards to 11, and now it's almost 11:25, almost 11:30. So I'm having another class this time. So inshallah, I would like to stop here. This is just a reminder, and inshallah, anytime you call me again for the continuation of this, inshallah, I'll try as much as I can to see that I come so that we complete everything. So may Allah make it, because we don't talk about the nursing mothers and nursing mothers and pregnant women. We don't talk about that because there is an issue that we're supposed to discuss: the nursing mothers and those that are pregnant women. What is the Islamic ruling pertaining their fast? So inshallah, and all people, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about menstrual women and antenatal, pre-antenatal. We don't talk about that. So I think we are going to discuss this issue if Allah permit and prolong our life another time. So may Allah make it blissful and very beneficial. If you can permit me, I would want to stop here. Assalamu alaikum. Okay. Unless if there is a comment from you or a question, 1, 2. No. If there is no comment, there is no message, then inshallah, we will discuss, we will inform one another if there is need for another lesson again, then we will inform you. So, inshallah, thank you so much. Inshallah. So,